Hi everyone, welcome back to the Law of One Spiritual Advice Podcast. My name is Elle, and today I come to read to you some Law of One material, the raw material, and then I'm just sharing my comments with you and reflections on what they mean to me. So today's topics will be specifically about karma and forgiveness. Two things which are apparently inseparable. So if that is news to you, then you may want to listen in on some of these quotes, because when I first started sort of seeking spiritual stuff, it seemed to make sense as you play with the universe that karma seems to be a real thing, which is sort of an aspect of unity and oneness, right? As we are one, then as you do things for either yourself or others, then whether they're good or bad, that's going to come back around again. And how does forgiveness relate into this? Well, we will go over that. So let's start out with the main quote. And I have quite a few quotes today, but this will be the main one. So the main one is 34.4. That's what session it's from. And you can get this information at my website, theoneinfinitecreator.com, and there are links to all of this material for free where you can download it. Okay, so this is 34.4, raw, quote begins, "Our understanding of karma is that which may be called inertia. Those actions which are put into motion will continue using the ways of balancing until such time as the controlling or higher principle which you may liken unto your breaking or stopping is invoked. This stoppage of inertia of action may be called forgiveness. These two concepts are inseparable." End of quote. Okay, so just bringing it back to the idea that once again, we are all one, and therefore, whether you are seeing this illusion of self, which is you yourself, versus the illusion of an other self, other people that you see about in your life, all of those people are still one with us, and they are technically the creator. We are the creator. Everything is the creator. So in that, as you seek to do good or bad, basically what are your intentions and what you do, and what are the side effects or the results of the choices that you make? Well, that is the feedback system, right? So you're going to go and do something, and then the system will give you feedback, and then you can learn and grow from that. So what are you to do? If you start something, you've basically started something with inertia, movement. There's movement there. There's power behind it. There's force. And that will continue in its motion until the ways of a higher principle, which they say is a controlling or higher principle, which you may liken unto your breaking or stopping, is invoked. And what is that? That is forgiveness. So why would forgiveness all of a sudden just absolve karma? Well, it is essentially because you have learned the lesson. This place which we are here in the third density, in this actually entire universe, is my understanding. Ra kind of says that the path of seeking is one of healing, right? We're basically we're a distorted version of the creator, and we're sort of unhealed in a way. And as we undistort our being and we become more in resonance with the truth, which is, the creator, then we are essentially letting go of all the things that we hold on to, and we let those things fall away. And how do we do that? Well, we love and accept them and forgive them. So down here at a different quote, Ra states in session 2630, "Healing is a process of acceptance, forgiveness, and if possible, restitution. The restitution not being available in time-space, there are many among your people now attempting restitution while in the physical." Right, so the path of seeking is a path of healing. So that path of healing is a path of acceptance, forgiveness, and if possible, restitution. So maybe this is sort of ingredients on how you may sort of do a full line of forgiveness, right? First, you're going to accept the circumstances for what they are, whether you or somebody else has made a decision and that decision has turned out badly, or, has harmed you or offended you or whatever that may be, or offended somebody else. The first step of that is going to be acceptance. Accept that that is the way that things went down. Nothing can be done to change the way that things happened. Okay, so what can you do from there? Well, you could play the human game and try to get back at somebody, etc., etc. If you need to play that game, well, have fun with that. However, once you're done with trying to get revenge and harm people, etc., you will probably figure out, hey, you know what? This isn't really serving me. Why hold on to the poison when, this poison given to me from somebody else? Why not let them just keep that poison? We're going to work on forgiving these people and forgiving people who have done us harm and forgiving ourselves, etc. So with forgiveness, there is forgiveness of self and forgiveness of other self. Now, this is kind of hard to talk about because Ra will indicate that there is no difference between self and other self. However, that may be easy for them to see from their perspective of unity in the sixth density, but we here are in third density behind the veil, and it's not very clear to us that we truly are one. So I'll still talk about it as self and other self, but the larger underlying truth is that there is no separation between self and other self. If there is karma or disharmony between you and basically anybody, or between you and yourself even, right? There's no separation here. That is going to be an inertia that you have started, which you're going to have to try to figure out, which is going to happen through forgiveness. So accept the circumstances, forgive yourself, forgive others, restitution if possible, move on. Okay? So just a couple of quotes to add on to my points here. So another quote from Ra, 1720, in forgiveness lies the stoppage of the wheel of action, or what you call karma. Also session 1812, forgiveness of other self is forgiveness of self. An understanding of this insists upon full forgiveness upon the conscious level of self and other self, for they are one. A full forgiveness is thus impossible without the inclusion of self. End of quote. So like I was saying before, right, there is no differentiation between you and others. However, I would put a little addendum in there that you are within the third density and you somewhat are separate from the other person in a sort of way in terms of free will. So you can't make somebody forgive you, right? But you can do your best to forgive them, provide honest restitution, what you think would actually be a true level of forgiveness that you feel you could do for the other person. If they accept it or not, that's not necessarily your concern. However, it is in a way, but you don't want to hold yourself to it, right? It's still that person's free will. You hope that your restitution speaks to them in a way that they may be able to forgive you in the future. And, you don't need to control the situation to the point that you are making them forgive you or trying to so much restitution that you're sort of going overboard, right? People need time to heal. People need time to forgive. That might be part of your lesson here, is part of the forgiveness. Maybe just take some time. So do what you can. Respect people's free will to forgive or not forgive as they feel is appropriate, and have faith that in time all of that will eventually work itself out. Which sort of brings up another thing, which is that you could be sort of obsessing about karma, right? We don't want to necessarily obsess with karma. This life may be about moving on and graduating, etc., to the next density and evolving spiritually. However, we are still in the now. We don't want to be living in the future. We only have this moment right now that's in front of us, and we have a certain set of lessons in this incarnation that we have set out to learn. So through those lessons, they may be restitution of karma from previous incarnations. You don't really know. So you kind of just have to just go with what happens in front of you. Do your best, have good intentions, try not to be running around creating karma, right? Being disharmonious and rude and pissing off a bunch of people, etc., etc. You yourself are able to just live the life that you can the best way you can, but don't obsess over this too much. I did this at one point where I was kind of worried, am I going to get stuck here because of my karma? I need to go around forgiving everybody, and which is somewhat true. However, at another point, that is a control thing, and control is a service to self polarity thing. I'm trying to do the service to others thing, which is instead of control, we're working with acceptance. So I need to a certain degree, accept the life path that is set out in front of me. I don't need to control it and be in perfect forgiveness and perfect purity. I trust that this incarnation may be, just human. Like I didn't come here to be Jesus Christ. I came here to be El. I came here to be me. So whatever that me is, I try to find and share with others. And, I try to do it from a place where I've met the Creator. So respecting through unity, unconditional love, etc. Then lastly, Ra does indicate, though, if you are working on this forgiveness thing, you can basically be forgiven in a moment, right? I'm sure you've heard things in the Bible. I'll kind of go back and I'll give you a little one about that. But first, in session 34.5, Ra states, both self and any involved other self may at any time through the process of understanding, acceptance, and forgiveness ameliorate these patterns. This is true at any point in an incarnative pattern. Thus, one who has set in the motion an action may forgive itself and never make that error again. Never make that error. This also breaks or stops what you call karma. End of quote, right? So I already kind of mentioned about that, but that would be almost not differentiating between yourself and yourself. Like, it's easy to say, oh, I forgive other people, but are you able to forgive yourself? That, I think, is actually a big, big part that a lot of people miss. We think we're really hard on ourselves, some of us. So it is very important that, you can somewhat create karma with yourself. So it's important that you are forgiving yourself for the things that you've done. Only through the acceptance, forgiveness, are you able to transform that pattern into something bigger, better, or whatever's next for you. All right, so I think that is good on forgiveness and karma. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the week. If this information made sense to you, resonated with you, you can get it for free, theoneinfinitecreator.com. I have links to llresearch.org, where all this material is given to us for free in order to serve us. If you like my podcast, feel free to give me a like, share, subscribe. And maybe you're not aware, but I post on Instagram every day at the @the_law_of_1. We can get these daily quotes and inspiration, and then I'll continue doing this podcast at this point every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So thank you guys so much. Hope you have a great rest of the week. I love you guys.